important. In the last 145 days, we've had 241 mass shootings in this country.
Why is she acting like there's only one definition of mass shooting? There are many different definitions of mass shootings, and it's been shown that one definition can create a far bigger number than another definition. For example, by one account, there have been 68 mass shootings so far in 2023. By other accounts, there have been 6 or even fewer. These widely divergent numbers can create confusion in the wake of another tragedy. Saying that there have been more mass shootings than days so far in 2023 is truly scaring the people, because that relies on just one definition of a mass shooting. 4 or more people shot, including injuries, and that definition is too wide, said James Allen Fox, a Northeastern University criminologist.
And as governor, you've loosened gun laws in your state, and you hold an A rating for the NRA.
You know, I find it ironic that she brings up how this governor loosened gun laws in his state and has an A rating with the NRA, but fails to mention that he's the governor of New Hampshire, the safest state in the nation.
You told a friend of our show, Jen Psaki, recently, there's no law you're going to pass that's going to stop mass shootings. There's no law you're going to pass that's just going to magically stop gun violence. However, there was a law that was passed, and that law was passed in 1997. It was a federal assault weapons ban, and it cut it, 1994 rather, and it cut gun violence by 70%. And the minute it was reinstated, mass shootings, and the minute it was reinstated, they went up. Why not put that law back in place?
No. So, understand.
Once again, where did she get this stat from? And I quote, "The federal assault weapons ban, scheduled to expire in September, is not responsible for the nation's steady decline in gun-related violence, and its renewal likely will achieve little, according to an independent study commissioned by the National Institute of Justice. We cannot clearly credit the ban with any of the nation's recent drop in gun violence, and indeed, there has been no discernible reduction in the lethality and injuriousness of gun violence," said the unreleased NIJ report written by Christopher Coper, a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. It is thus premature to make definitive assessments of the ban's impact on gun violence should it be renewed. The ban's effects on gun violence are likely to be small at best and perhaps too small for reliable measurement, said the report, a copy of which was obtained by the Washington Times. The report also noted that assault weapons are rarely used in gun crimes even before the ban. NIJ is the Justice Department's research, development, and evaluation agency assigned the job of providing objective and independent evidence-based information to the department through independent studies and other data collection activities. At this point, I'm convinced that Sunny just pulls these stats out of her ass.
Look, if the argument is if we just have more gun bans and more gun laws, Chicago would be the safest place in the country.
But the problem
because they have the most restricted laws.
But the problem with that argument is that the guns that are used in Chicago are coming from states that have looser gun laws.
So,
you know, I love it when anti-gunners make this argument because it's such an easy argument to defeat with one question. If the reason Chicago's gun violence is so bad is because of the loose gun laws in the surrounding states, why don't those same states have the same gun violence issues to the degree that Chicago does? Clearly, there's a deeper issue that has nothing to do with guns, but to dive deeper into that issue will expose something that people like Sunny don't want to admit, that most gun violence happens in cities led by Democrats. But they don't want to talk about that. But I will in a video in the near future.
Guys, I have the safest state in the country. You can talk about the validity, the merits of a law are based on the results it gets. I have the safest state in the country. So why are we having the mass shootings? It's not because people have access to guns. It's because we're not dealing with mental health. We don't provide access for mental health with kids. When people are in crisis, they have nowhere to turn. They resort to violence. We don't do the right things in terms of locking down our schools and protecting.
What's wrong with
core of the issue is mental health.
Why are you holding on to this one gun?
Yeah.
What is it about this one gun?
The AR-15. The automatic rifle. They killed a bunch of children who were just going to school.
First of all, it's not just one gun. The assault weapon ban banned a bunch of guns. The AR-15 is just one of the most talked about because it's the most popular semi-auto rifle bought in this country by civilians. But since Whoopi wants to go there, let's go there. First of all, mass shootings account for less than 1% of firearm homicides, and that's using the broadest definition of mass shootings. Then, within those mass shootings, only 14% of those mass shootings were committed with an AR-15. And even smaller than that, AR-15s are used in only 3% of all types of gun violence. So Whoopi, the question you should be asking is, why are you trying to ban the one rifle most used by Americans for self-defense that is only used in 3% of actual illegal shootings? And what is Joey Behart talking about? How many times do we have to tell you that AR-15s aren't automatic? They are semi-automatic, just like a handgun is. And guns aren't autonomous, yet she talks about them like they're human. The AR-15 didn't kill those kids. A person killed those kids, and they happen to use an AR-15 to do it. The same way people have used handguns to kill kids. But there have also been a lot of people who used AR-15s to save kids' lives. So clearly an AR-15 can be used for good or bad. But Joy and people like her are so brainwashed by the anti-gun lobby, they think banning a gun used in 3% of gun crimes is going to do anything. Actually, it will do something. It will make sure that the only people who have AR-15s are the very people we don't want having them in the first place. This idea that we're gonna ban a type of gun and all of a sudden our kids will be safe is quite literally the thought process of a child. Joy will be the same person screaming ban handguns after the AR-15s are banned. So I'm sorry, Joy. You can get up there and claim the AR-15 killed all of these kids and did all that, but then you have nothing to say when we have AR-15s in the hands of good people who use it to defend kids. So this idea that we're gonna ban our way to safety is just a child's dream.
And yes, AR-15s are protected by the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It didn't say only handguns, it said arms. Guns aren't political. That's why I need your help getting this message to spread on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, then subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, click that bell symbol. For products featured in this video, click the links in the description.